Hey, I'm David Frum.
Hi, I'm Michael Tomasky.
We're here today to discuss the gender gap in American politics. Being both men, of course, we are experts on that subject. My view, Michael, is that thinking about women voting is like thinking about drivers voting. We're talking about a population of 150 million plus people. The differences among women are overwhelmingly important by class, by race, and it's just not a helpful category with which to think. I think there's a little bit of an artificial democratic narrative because there is a historic democratic lead among women as a group to then say there is a woman issue. But when you start disaggregating them, you notice, well, among married women, Republicans do well. And that the gap between the married and the unmarried is as important as the gap between the sexes.
Those are some fair points. But when a gap is 15 points, something real is going on, David, I think. And I think something real is going on right now in this campaign season. If you look back historically, so far as it was studied going back 40 and 50 years ago, there wasn't really a gender gap. I think JFK beat Nixon by 3 points among women, something like that. The gender gap started in 1976 and especially in 1980. What was different about 1980? It was the first time that the Republican Party's platform was against abortion rights. It has grown since then, with the slight exception of 2004 when it managed to shrink a little bit, the soccer moms who were worried about being attacked and so forth. But it's been basically double digits. Obama won women by 14 points in 2008. In the most recent polling I've seen, he's 20-something points ahead of Mitt Romney. That's real.
But when you pull the abortion issue alone, you see no gender gap on abortion. Men and women feel the same way about it, and they divide equally. So to the extent that there's anything real going on here, this is not an argument about abortion. I'm sure women did not like Rush Limbaugh's comments, married or unmarried, nobody liked them. But that's not a driver of voting behavior either. To the extent that we've got a driver of voting behavior, it's that single women especially, married women less, are less economically individualistic than men as a group. And that is something that Republicans can really deal with. That if Mitt Romney has a message of social inclusion, if he has a message of economic growth, he can really address that. But he has to understand what the problem is. It is not driven primarily by social issues. It is driven by being pushed by the Tea Party wing of the party too far away from the center, but he's got his Etch-a-Sketch moment. He can come back and say that this is about, that he is going to be a compassionate conservative, a socially inclusive Republican, and then he will discover, like George Bush in 2004, he can make progress.
Well, what he's drawing on this new Etch-a-Sketch so far isn't that great. This number that he's come up with, that 92.3% of the people who lost their jobs during the recession and downturn are women, is kind of a crazy number. I won't go into the details of how it was arrived at, but it was basically akin to assessing a quarterback's value to a team by counting only his interceptions and not his touchdown passes. And besides, nobody intuitively is going to believe this 92% number. So he's going to have to do a lot better than that. I think the gap is real.
Well, and there, although there's a lot more to say, there we're going to stop for the day, and we hope to see you again soon.
Thanks.